Hey everyone, what's going on? Do all blind people think the same? Well, this question was asked in a recent video by a channel called Jubilee, where about I believe it was six blind and visually impaired folks were interviewed. They were asked a series of questions and they answered whether they agreed or disagreed with those questions. Most of these folks were YouTubers. A few of them I did recognize, like James Rath, Molly Burke, Lucy Edwards. Another person I recognized was Christine Ha from Master Chef, so that was pretty cool. Now, like I said, these folks were asked a series of questions whether they agreed or disagreed with them, and the answers ranged from, well, there were six possible answers, ranging from strongly agree to agree, somewhat agree, then going the other way to somewhat disagree, disagree, and strongly disagree. So following that video, about a week or two later, a YouTube friend of mine, Cayla with a C, decided to turn this into a tag because she decided to answer those questions in a video of her own. So she started this tag, which I think was a pretty genius move on her part. So nicely done, Cayla. That's an awesome idea. And the tag made it to me, so I was tagged by an individual named Sassy from the channel Thinking Out Loud. She's a YouTuber from the UK, so thank you, Sassy, for tagging me. I was really excited when I found out that I was tagged. I'm going to leave a link to the original video by Jubilee in the description below, as well as Cayla's video. Now, also, one more thing to take note of. I'm legally blind, I'm not totally blind, so that will have a bit of an influence on my answers. So let's begin. Question number 1. Being blind has enhanced my other senses. Somewhat agree. The reason I say somewhat agree is because I've noticed that I've been able to just hear things a little bit better. Over the past few years, I've been able to pick up like more detailed sounds, or just pick up sounds that most people wouldn't pay too much attention to, but also my sense of touch. Like, I'm using bump dots a lot. So bump dots are basically little bumpy stickers that you place on buttons or on different things to identify different labels or surfaces or even keyboard keys. And I've also been practicing Braille, so that's another reason why my sense of touch has kind of been, increasing a little bit. Now, this does not mean, we're not going into Daredevil territory or nothing like that, because I don't think the senses are enhanced when you're going blind. I just think that because we're not using a primary sense like sight, we're just more self-conscious of using our other senses. So it's not that we're, they're heightened, it's just that we're just more aware of using the other ones. Question number 2. I prefer to date fellow blind people. Disagree. Now, let me be a little more clear on this, but also this is coming from the perspective of a person who hasn't dated before. So this is just me basing on just, preferences, personal preferences, what I find attractive or not. And okay, here's the thing I don't like. I don't like that when you mention that you're blind, like, people automatically assume that, oh, because you're blind, you must be dating another blind person. It's like, no, just because we're blind doesn't mean we're just dating one another. With that being said, I don't think that sight, or in this case, a lack of sight, should be the only determining factor whether, a person should be dateable. I mean, it's all about, I don't want to say just the personality, but just, who the person is. Just basically, if there's any chemistry. If I happen to like somebody and they happen to be sighted, then okay. But if they happen to be blind, that's fine too. So really, it shouldn't really matter. Number 3, I am less shallow about romantic partners. Somewhat disagree. This question kind of piggybacks on the previous one, so I don't know, I think we're just like everyone else. We have our, different tastes, different preferences, and yeah, sometimes we're going to be pretty shallow about it, sometimes we're not going to be as shallow about it. I still judge a little bit based on appearance, but at the same time, like I said, that's not going to be the only factor, because, someone can be, like, they have a great appearance, but if they're just a complete jerk of a person, then, yeah, bye Felicia. So I may have my preferences, I may be picky about some things, but like I always tell myself, even though I have those preferences, there's always going to be exceptions. Question number 4, unsolicited help makes things harder. Agree. Now, this hasn't happened to me much, but I have been grabbed by people because they thought they were helping and they're like, oh, let's pull him in this direction because this is where he wants to go. But I mean, it really throws you off, especially since I can't see well in the daytime because, just because I'm very light sensitive. One time I did have a lady just randomly grab me and pull me to the sidewalk after I got off of a bus, but the thing is I didn't know at the time that I was walking on the road and I didn't realize it. I thought I was on the sidewalk, so she quickly grabbed me and pulled me onto the sidewalk. So she did explain herself as to why she did that. So I do have exceptions because, like, let's say I'm about to get hit by a car or something like that and you notice it but I don't, oh yeah, grab me, because and then I won't be able to talk about stuff like that in a video like this. If there is a blind person and you think they need help, just ask them if they need help, because I mean, a lot of times we want to do things on our own, but then there's other people who would want help, but still, you're not going to know unless you ask. Hashtag just ask, don't grab. Question number 5. The city I live in is easily accessible for me. Somewhat agree. Now, I am lucky that just a block away from me is a bus stop, which takes me to a train station downtown, which basically means that there's more bus connections there, and I could take the train, north or south from here, which is awesome. But the thing is, at the moment, hey, editing me here. So just to be on the safe side, I'm going to phrase this as because of the current state of the world. And because that bus line actually connects to a community college, that line's not running at the moment. So it's kind of leaving me not stranded. I mean, I can take an Uber or Lyft, but still, I mean, just knowing that I can't just walk to the bus stop and just go anywhere without having to spend the money on an Uber or Lyft, it makes it a little bit more inaccessible for me right now. Hey, editing version of me again. So I do take Uber and Lyft. It's just that when you kind of mostly depend on that as your only mode of transportation, the costs, well, they start adding up. Question number 6. I am offended when the word blind is used as one of my descriptive characteristics. Disagree. And the reason for that is I wouldn't mention that I'm a legally blind filmmaker in the first place if that was the case. I think a lot of folks sometimes have a very strong opinion about saying the word blind because it might make them seem like they're lesser of a person. I may say that I'm blind or that I'm legally blind, but the thing is that's not the only thing that defines me. It's definitely a big part of who I am, but at the same time, it's not all of me. I think the words blind and disabled and things like that are only offensive if you allow them to be offensive to you. I know that's a real simple way of just, describing it because some people have very strong opinions, but I just think that you put in as much power or as little power into words as you project into them. Number 7. Being blind has affected my mental health. Somewhat agree. Now, I do have social anxiety. I am pretty shy. I sometimes struggle to just, talk to people at times. But the thing is, yeah, that does affect my mental health, but I've had that for most of my life. Most of the mental health issues I have are not sight related. Most of the time when I'm feeling down, it's not because of my vision. That's not to say that I don't have my bad vision days or my crappy vision days. Even though I've adjusted, to where I am now with my remaining vision, because it's going down over time, I'm going to have to keep making adjustments. And yeah, sometimes that does take a bit of a toll emotionally. Question number 8. I have experienced discrimination. Somewhat agree. Yeah, I mean, I guess for me, I haven't really experienced much discrimination as far as visual impairment goes. I have had people just quickly judge, saying things like, an example is I like sports and I like watching hockey games on TV. But the thing is, I can't really see most of the stuff going on, but still I've been judged saying how can he watch this when he says he's blind? How can he watch TV? Little things like that. Although I did have an experience where a bicyclist spit in my face as he just went past me, because he was saying, I heard him yelling to someone, get the expletive out of my way, and I was coming towards him, I was walking towards him, but I didn't realize he was saying that to me. So just as a precaution though, if he was saying that to me, I kind of moved to the side, thinking that I was out of the way enough. But next thing you know, as I hear him passing me by, I feel something wet hit my face, and that's when I realized, wait a second, this guy just spit in my face. Yeah, so I mean, as far as like discrimination goes, maybe that's probably the worst example I can explain to you. Question number 9. If I could regain my vision with a cure, I would want to. Somewhat disagree. Now, the only reason why I say somewhat disagree is because I've thought a lot about is something like video making accessible to the totally blind, and that's something that's kind of scared me a little bit, just the thought of it sometimes, because I really do think like, how am I gonna keep making videos once I do lose more vision? But at the same time though, more accessible tools start emerging, and if it gets to the point where film and video making is accessible to at least where I can make sit-down videos like this, then I would be a lot more comfortable with just the being able to still create something visually. Now, with that being said, I'm not online looking for a cure on Google or anything like that. I know my condition doesn't have a cure, and I've accepted that. I've accepted the cards I've been dealt with, and I'm just going to, just live my life as best I can. I'm still going to try to create videos for as long as I can, and here's hoping that film and video making becomes more and more accessible over time. Life has given me these lemons, and you know what? I'm going to make the best freaking lemonade that I can with them. So those are my answers to the questions. Hopefully you enjoyed hearing my answers. I'm going to tag a couple people though to see if they want to do this. So I'm going to tag Demi from the channel Della Grande, and also I'm going to tag Christy Veers. So both of you have been tagged. Hopefully you enjoy answering these questions, and I would love to hear your answers as well. Alright everybody, so hopefully you enjoyed that, and I will talk to you folks in the next video. Thanks for watching. Watch everyone else's videos, and like I said, links to the original video and Cayla's video in the description below. Talk to you later.